What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another late night in the BrewLab with me, Lone Fox, your brewmaster in chief. And tonight in the BrewLab, I'm coming at you with a brew that I've been working on for it feels like 10 days or so now. And I think after a lot of testing and tinkering and fiddling, I'm finally ready to show you guys. So without further ado, let's jump into tonight's brew. I'm calling it the Calamity Army. And that is because we're trying to copy Calamity Bearer as many times as possible and get in for a buttload of damage. If a giant source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage to that permanent or player instead. Of course, the more Calamity Bearers you have on the battlefield at any given moment, the more that effect stacks, and you get like, I've done like over 200 damage with this deck in a single turn. So, before we get there, let's take it from the top, as I always do. I'll explain the deck for you guys from left to right. I'll explain why it is that I picked the card, how it is that it synergizes with the other cards in the deck, and I'll try and get through all of the play lines and interactions, because there's many. So, Play with Fire is my 1 mana burn spell of choice in this particular deck, because it can go face. We're trying to chip the opponent's life total down as much as possible before we get to the combo finish, so that we can kill them with a 1-turn kill. But it can also just be removal on some smaller creatures in the early game. I really like the Scry one as well, so you can filter through some of the cards in your deck just to make sure that you hit your lands or, get to the combo pieces, that kind of stuff. So Play with Fire over something like the Flame Charge Bolt or whatever it's called. And the other 1 mana instant speed burn spells. This one is the one I'm preferring at the moment. Then we've got March of Swirling Mist, which is in here to save our creatures from removal, because you can phase them out. But it's also quite nice because you can phase out the opponent's creatures. And, doing it at the opponent's end step, phase out all of their creatures, and then you untap, and the attack lanes are now free for you to swing in, is obviously really good when we've got a bunch of Calamity Bearers on the battlefield. So, initially in the very first build of this deck, I had the new one called, Slip Out the Back, but that only targets 1 creature. This can potentially do many, so I think it's just a better option overall. Then we've got some counter spells. I've just gone for 1 Disdainful Stroke, 2 Negates. Initially I had some other silly stuff, but I've kind of just settled on counter spells as a good way to sort of help us get there, because I found myself running into trouble with, sweepers, invoke despairs, all that kind of stuff, blood on the snows. So, like, negate, really good right now. There's so many planeswalkers in the format, and plenty of good removal that is going to be trying to target your Calamity Bearer. I may even decide to just go like this and try and snag the opponent's Vanishing Verse. Let's see how that runs, and then we might switch it back to double negates later. But we've gone for these like 3 counter spells in our counter spell package: Disdainful Stroke, Negate, Test of Talents. It's been doing the trick. This one, spell with mana value 4 greater, Goldspan Dragons, you name it. Negate, I've just touched upon, and Test of Talents would be really great to snag something like the Vanishing Verse or what have you. Then we've gone for full playset of Glimpse the Cosmos, because this is a giant tribal deck essentially. I mean, we do have 2 giants and then stuff that copies said giants. It's better, in my opinion, than Expressive Iteration, because you can actually play this on turn 2. The Expressive Iteration, you always have to wait till turn 3 to play it, so that you don't end up exiling something that you don't wish to be exiled. Whereas with Glimpse the Cosmos, this just ends up in your graveyard. You kind of get to do the same thing, essentially. You look at the top 3 of your library, you put the best one into your hand. And then if you have a giant on the battlefield, then you get to recast Glimpse the Cosmos from your graveyard for just the cheap cost of 1 blue mana. So really, really nice. Essentially, we can do this effect 8 times by just having 4 cards in the deck. So if you're playing giant tribal, I think it's the better option over the Expressive Iteration, in my opinion. Then This is where we start to find the ways of copying the Calamity Bearer. We've got Mindlink Mech. So if you haven't seen this combo yet, it was quite popular when Kamigawa first dropped. If everything's going well and you can tell that you're kind of ahead and the opponent's having some trouble making their land drops, or they're playing the type of colors that have a little less interaction, for like Vanishing Verse or, you know, whatever other kinds of removal, then you can just go for the, you know, maybe turn 1, play with fire their face, turn 2, Glimpse the Cosmos something, turn 3, play your Mindlink Mech out, turn 4, play Calamity Bearer, crew the Mindlink Mech with Calamity Bearer. That would mean that you have 2 giants on the battlefield, at, you know, 2 of them at that moment. And Mindlink Mech makes a copy of the thing that it's crewed by. That's why it's saying, I'm saying there would be 2 of them. And then it's got flying, and it's a 4/3, and you swing in for 16 damage on turn 4. If you've already played with fire their face once, you're getting them down to 2 health on turn 4. Really, really cool. And it's become a little bit less popular because it's definitely quite a janky sort of meme thing. But because of that, people don't expect it so much anymore, and it's really, really fun when you get them like that. But it's not always the case. We're really, like, that was one of the main learning curves with playing the deck. Like, you don't always just want to like play out your Calamity Bearer on turn 4. Then you're tapped out, you have no way of saving it, you have no counter spells up. It's a little bit slower. You need to really set things up a little bit more. If you know, depends on the opponent. You'll be able to tell when you can just go for the first playline I mentioned, or whether you have to sort of maybe cast the Fable of the Mirror Breaker instead on turn 3, or something else, or Demon Bolt something, rather than Mindlink Mech. But the copy targets, or, you know, the things that you can crew Mindlink Mech with, isn't just the Calamity Bearer. There's some surprisingly sweet other ones in the deck. Namely, the Goblin Shaman, for example. You can have now a 4/3 flying Goblin Shaman that taps for a treasure. Pretty nice. Also, Kiki-Jiki itself has this problem where it enters the battlefield. It has Summoning Sickness. You have to wait until the following turn to start copying stuff. But if you crew the Mindlink Mech with the freshly arrived onto the battlefield Reflection of Kiki-Jiki, it becomes a copy of Reflection of Kiki-Jiki that does not have Summoning Sickness, so you can start copying stuff straight away. Also, you know, if you have 2 reflections of Kiki-Jiki on the battlefield, you can start doing that crazy thing where, like, the one copies the other, and the other one copies the other, and the other one copies the other, and you can have, like, an army of Kiki-Jikis, depending on how much mana you have available. And if you can wait until your opponent's, you know, the end of the opponent's turn before you start doing that, when you untap, the copies don't disappear yet because of the way Kiki-Jiki is phrased. If you haven't seen this yet, you only sacrifice those creatures at the beginning of the next end step, so you would untap with that whole army of Kiki-Jikis, and then you play your Calamity Bearer, and then you can make a lot of copies because you have a lot of Kiki-Jikis, and that's really, really cool. But there's also the Surtland Flinger, which you can crew the Mindlink Mech with, which again would enter the battlefield with Summoning Sickness. It just sits there on the board. It's a mono-colored thing. You could get Vanishing Burst and many other things. But if you have the Mindlink Mech, you can crew it with the Surtland Flinger, attack with the Mindlink Mech, and which would then become a Surtland Flinger, and, you know, you don't even lose power because they both have 4 power. Which says, whenever you attack, or whenever it attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. When you do, Surtland Flinger deals damage equal to the sacrificed creature's power to any target. If the sacrificed creature was a giant, Surtland Flinger deals twice that damage instead. So if you have a Calamity Bearer on the board when that happens, it's 16 damage as it is. Pretty damn cool. Then, because you're doubling it once for the Flinger and then doubling it again for the Calamity Bearer. Really nice. So yeah, plenty of sweet targets for things that you can crew the Mindlink Mech with, even though it only seems like we have 2 creatures in the deck. You'd be surprised. Then, talking about those turn 2 plays, if you don't have the Glimpse the Cosmos, you could also just foretell the Demon Bolt, which is really nice because it deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker. So you can, I've been focusing a lot on these 4 damage burn spells in red because of Righteous Valkyrie and Rafine and Goldspan Dragon, which are sort of the main threats right now in the format, in my opinion. And this just hits on all of them. And if you can foretell it, then it's just 1 red mana to do that. That's really nice. So you can still have plenty of mana left open to pay the ward on the Rafine and what have you. So over the other one that I was running in the Hunter Red. Where is it? Ward ability. Why isn't it showing me? Okay. Wonder why it's not showing me. Do you know the one I was running in the mono red deck? The dispute or something? Heated Debate. Heated Debate is also a really good option, but it can't be foretold. And yes, it gets through the ward ability, but this can be cast for 1 mana. So I'm testing out Demon Bolt instead of the Heated Debate in this brew. Then, of course, Fable of the Mirror Breaker. I don't think I really need to reintroduce this card again. It's been around for a while now, and it's just fantastic all around. Just the ramp you can get off the Goblin Shaman is great. The discard your crap cards and draw that many cards is really good. And then it helps us with the copying of the Calamity Bearer, which is kind of the whole point of the deck. Then more ways of copying the Bearer. We've got 3 copies of the Undercover Operative, which made a initial debut in my Azorius Angels deck, what feels like about a week back now. Don't forget that this doesn't have to enter the battlefield as a copy of a creature you control. It can be any creature on the battlefield. So sometimes it would be better to copy one of the opponent's creatures. Just keep in mind that if you do copy an opponent's creature, it doesn't enter the battlefield with a shield counter. You only get the shield counter if you're copying your creatures. But yeah, just copying the Calamity Bearer is kind of the main reason why it's in here, and it entering with the shield counter, just making that a little bit tougher to remove. Really, really sweet. We've already touched upon the Bearer. It's kind of the whole point of the deck. We're trying to copy this guy as many times as possible and swing in for as much damage as possible. I promise you I've done over 200 damage in a single hit with this deck, so it's pretty fun. Which brings us to the 5 drops. We've got 2 Surtland Flingers and 4 Battle of Frost and Fires. The Surtland Flingers I've already touched upon. The Battle of Frost and Fire is our sweeper of choice in the deck. It's a kind of often be a one-sided sweeper because it only deals damage to non-giants. And we're mostly going to be having giants on the battlefield. And so we get to keep our stuff. The opponent loses their stuff. And I like how it hits Planeswalkers as well, especially against Obnixilis decks and that kind of stuff. Chapter 2, you scry 3, also quite nice. And then we occasionally get to get value off of the 3rd chapter. There aren't too many 5 drops, but if you do play a 5 drop on top of the chapter 3, you get to draw 2 and discard a card. So potentially just another Battle of Frost and Fire or your Surtland Flinger will get you to draw 2 and a discard, which is quite nice. Which brings us to the mana base, where we actually have another giant in here. If you had forgotten, the Hall of the Storm Giants becomes a giant when it's activated. And so if you have Calamity Bearer on the battlefield, that's essentially 14 damage coming through. Pretty nice. So a couple copies of the Hall of the Storm Giants. Then we've also got Den of the Bugbear, Otawara, Sokenzan, Crucible, and 2 Field of Ruins to destroy the opponent's creature's lands. And then the rest are just the usual collection of duels and basics. That's the deck. Let's jump into some games. Play some ranked. Who cares? Like, it's getting towards the end of the season. I've been having real fun just playing jank in ranked, like uber mythic. I'm getting down to the lower 80s. Couldn't care less. The whole aim of getting into the top 1,200 is sort of gone now with the new system. You need to get into the top 200, and it's just too much grinding for the time that I have available. So I'm all just about getting into Mythic so that I can play against the best decks right now, and then just playing jank. Who cares? There we go. Perfect. Turn 2. Glimpse the Cosmos. Let's go with the Demon Bolt. Now the way to get into the qualifier thing is by getting these play-in points. and the playing points you get for from playing standard events. So, okay, here comes 16 damage, baby. Let's do it. Badoosh. Down to 5. It's highly likely that they'll kill our Calamity Bearer with something in these colors right now. But that's okay. Ooh, maybe not. He's looking. Oh! Hey, he can't kill it. Otherwise, he just goes to 1. Okay, he could kill it. Oh, down to 1. Yeah, we got him. We can just attack with the den. He may have Voltage Surge or something. So maybe the safer option to play out the Fable and then crew the Mindlink Mech with the Fable. Or with the Shaman, I should say. Test the talents at the ready. Just the 1 copy in the whole deck, and he had it. Oops. Badoosh, baby, badoosh. Yes. Game 1 victory always feels good. Always feels very good. Setting the scene, hopefully, for the rest of the night. I'm having so much fun with this one. I don't know if it's like uber duper top tier new meta deck that's gonna kick ass or anything like that. Those we've already all played on the channel. There isn't gonna be anything new this late in the format that I'm gonna just suddenly discover like a groundbreaking new deck. That's a mulligan for sure. Oh no. Vanishing Burst colors. Okay. So boring. So this may require a little bit more slow down, but yeah, I think we probably just screwed. This like opener is so good. We can't even kill the Valkyrie. It might have been a good idea to zap the Giada there, but what can you do? That's fine, thanks. Next. Just busted alert. Especially in best of 1. So strong. 1, 2, 3 punch. And he had all his lands just to get the Liaison down like straight away. I should have probably killed the I mean, we still probably would have lost regardless. But if I'd killed the Giada, it would have been a little slower death. But that's okay. Let's just straight into the next one. We roll with the punches in the BrewLab. The Goat, a 77%er. Okay, as I drifted lower to the bottom of Mythic, it gets a little easier. These types of guys play all kinds of jank. Here we go, 119 card pile. With a definite mulligan on the draw. I guess they need to think a lot more about their hands when you have such a big deck, because we might risk not ever drawing that card again. Yeah. Sure. Ugh, not again. Please don't be angels again. Anything but angels. Oh my god, twice in a row? Really? When have they not got the Valkyrie? Like it feels like it's every single time. This youthful Valkyrie is going to be a problem. Sure. I'm wondering if I should hold up Disdainful Stroke. It could be the, yeah, I think I'm gonna hold up the Stroke. Could be the, what's it, Furia's Retribution? No? Might still cast it. That sucks. Oh yeah. Sucks we don't get to copy anything. I think we got him. Yes. I'm having so much fun with it, guys. I promise you. So much fun. Cannot believe he swung into the Mindlink Mech like that. I mean, I guess he was planning to always get me with that play dead or you are already dead card, but I still got rid of his Righteous Valkyrie, which is great. I don't know, Disdainful Stroke, or just put in more negates? What do you think? I have a bit of a terrible hand there. Goodness. If this is Angels again... Ew. Okay, no, it's just probably going to be a bunch of planeswalkers and that sort of thing. We need to get him quick. Here comes a go blank. Yay. I hope you play a planeswalker now and catch you. Uyakasha. Off you go. And we can't play our Calamity Bearer because it's just going to get exiled.
Consider yourself fortunate our motives align. You will serve me well. Follow in darkness, then.
Use this to get your Soaring back, please. Once more. That's one way of doing it.
For the sake of all innocent,
Scry 3.
I bring my own army.
I wonder what this card is here. Ooh, something too expensive to grab off of that. Now we get to draw 3. Draw 2. Discard 1. Zap!
Things have not gone my
Please
way.
use that soul transfer to bring your Soaring back. Please, pretty please. Nice.
No cost is too great to quill.
I would love a march.
You wish to know my secrets?
Mm.
Very well.
Wonder what this is.
You will serve me well.
We need the march, otherwise this type of deck will just... Ah. Oh dear God, please not.
You'll be safer.
What?
I will not spare you.
Mistake? Yeah, I love a mistake. That was great.
You are not much of a roadblock.
My ways are not for the weak.
That's not good. is this?
See you later.
Holy crap, that stuff is just so toxic. I'm so sick of this farewell card, man. It's too strong, I think. I knew it. I knew it. There's always a second one.
I am almost sad to see you go. I'm never done for good.
Always, always, always. It was Doomscar all along. Hopefully they're out of removal. There's nothing I love more than beating those Orzhov decks. Oh, that was super well navigated. Pat, 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 pat. Get stuffed. Wandering Emperor pile of nonsense. We went through how many farewells there? That felt fan-freaking-tastic, I must tell you. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. And we could have then crewed the second Mindlink Mech we had using the one that was already a copy of the other one. So it would have been 3 giants. We would have gotten in for like 32 or something. Mind-boggling stuff. How are we doing for time? Alright, last match. Something a little bit easier to navigate than freaking mega control Orzhov pile would be my preferred opponent. Something like, I don't know, Simic Ramp or something. I'm only going to keep it because of the scry. I should just keep my mouth shut, man. Why? Why? Why does it always have to be more and more and more of this? That's another Doomscar for sure. I'm ready to test the Talents' Deadly Dispute though, which is quite cool. Vulcan. Ew. Free victory, baby. Gotta love it. Why would you scoop then? Why? Hey, we get to play another match. And this time it's gonna be the last one of the night. no matter what happens, because I do need to get editing and uploading and things. But I always love me a free win. It's nothing better than a sweet free victory. Now can we please not have another Orzhov deck? I think that was like the 4th one tonight. We played Angels and 2, whatever the hell that was. Sure. Nice. 90%er. We're starting to crawl away. Ooh, okay. Huh. Had to be Naya runes, right? Oh no. At least they don't have any like removal. Bugger off. Alright. There's nothing to test the talents in this deck except for that one spell that searches enchantments or lands. Can we get 3 by exiling 1? Yes, we can. This deck is the worst. Cannot think of anything I'd rather play less. We don't have the 1-turn kill. So it may be just better to hold off and see, but they're just going to gain too much life. It's just like 50-50 chance. If he draws another rune or a Showdown of the Skulls, it's game over. If not, maybe we top deck another Calamity Bearer and we get to win. We have to risk it. Otherwise we'd lose anyway. So, fine. Be that way then. What did you top deck? Another Kiki Jiki. Ah, you got a rune. You got a damn rune. Okay, nothing else, fortunately. It's going full send. Ooh, we might have the channel land. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Bottles of champagne, firework display, freaking hell yeah, motherfucker. Why would you scoop? I don't understand, but I'm all for it, man. Hey, ending on a win against the 90%er who got spooked by our empty hand and single giant on the battlefield. Alright everybody, that's going to be it for tonight's gameplay footage. We did not get to showcase everything. I did not get to fling a Surtland Flinger and double the damage. There was a few interactions there that we did not get to do, but I think I played quite well against those Orzhov decks. Getting a couple of free wins along the way was fantastic. And yeah, I hope you liked the shenanigans with this Calamity army. There's definitely loads more that can happen. I really wished for you all to like take it for a spin. Go unranked, play it a lot, have fun with it. It's a good one. It's a doozy. But that's going to be it for tonight's gameplay footage, guys. I'm not going to edit a single thing. I'm going to leave it just as it is. The all three of the counter spells kind of came into play at different times. I just wish there was a way to squeeze in some more. We might find a way to do that in future versions. But yeah, I will see you all tomorrow with some fresh brews. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Join the Discord community. It's slowly starting to grow nicely. There's a link in the description. And yeah, until tomorrow, this is Lone Fox from the BrewLab, signing out. Peace, y'all.